Film Cafe. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody.
And I'm Paul A. Presenza, known as the Moo Cow. Moo!
Moo. All right, and this is a Bell Cow Productions.
Moo!
So right off the bat, Paul was extremely interested.
Hell yeah, and we all know there's all kinds of cows down in Texas.
So that makes total sense, probably.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Sorry, buddy.
We're doing a new thing with these guys. We're trying to show off Circus of the Dead, which is the movie we watched. And we've got a little
Continuity monkey with
continuity monkey with us. Okay. All right. So anyway, first off, this is a film that was shot in Texas. And okay, we're gonna give you guys our honest review. So get ready. I guess in the beginning we were interested. Like things were cool, and we figured this was kind of like House of a Thousand Corpses type thing, where
Only with clowns.
only with clowns. Which I think Rob Zombie later on did 31, which was a House of a Thousand Corpses with clowns too. I think so. So Rob Zombie copied Circus of the Dead, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, anything with clowns is going to be extra creepy and extra weird, and I'm going to like it just because of that. So it was kind of cool in that respect. Clowns are just one of those things that some people hate and some people are actually afraid of. So it kind of hits that deep, primal fear that certain people have. So in some respects, it kind of really works that way. But yeah, it's definitely in the mold of House of a Thousand Corpses, in that, you've got a group of people who are torturing another group of people, and no matter what they do, they really can't get away.
So let's go into the good stuff that we liked about it. I think I enjoyed kind of a lot of the beginning of the movie, really, like just setting up the characters and getting to know the people. There might have been a little bit of weird, awkward moments I felt through it, but I guess we'll go into that in the bad part. And then I guess I enjoyed Chanel Ryan. I really liked her in it. I wish there was more of her.
Oh yeah, I always wish there's more of her.
Yeah. But yeah, so and then let's see. I thought that the direction was interesting. The interesting take on what happened. And I guess overall, we'll get into that in a second. I guess, what was your good stuff?
All right, well, technically this is a very well shot and well produced picture. The gore effects are mostly pretty good. There's quite a lot of it because that's pretty much what the movie's built around. And just the way that everything is shown is really nice. The camera work is good. Everybody sounds good. Everything feels like it's been done by a professional crew. So you don't get that in a lot of small budget and micro budget productions out there. So that was refreshing to see. It looks like everybody knows what they're doing. That's always a big plus. The sets were really, really well done. They had a lot of them.
Sets were great.
Quite a variety of different sets. It's not like they're just shooting it in my mom's house or in the basement somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Especially the circus.
Right. The circus, the public scenes, being out in the streets. There's a lot of stuff that was really handled well. Mm-hmm. From a technical aspect.
Like they look like they put some money into it.
Right, and effort. And it comes through, which is really, really good. I felt the acting for the most part was good. The way that the characters are written in such a way, I don't know that they really have a chance to go beyond sort of the two-dimensional. But as far as the actors go, I thought they all did a good job with what they had. The color was really good, the lighting was really good, the sound was really good. All of that kind of stuff hit the money. So that was well done.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think, the sets, the acting, there's a few times that you're right about the writing, that apparently the writing kind of left a little bit of dialogue to be like there was a scene. I'm gonna be a little bit specific, but there was like a scene with Paris Randall, who's great. I love him, and he was really good in this movie. He was the main guy that was like taken around and everything. Right. He was really good in it, but there's just this one scene that felt like they put it in there just to kind of give their characters a bit more definition, and stuff. So there's this one scene, or more dimension, I guess.
In the kitchen you're talking
yeah,
about.
the kitchen scene. The kitchen scene was just a little awkward. And I don't know, we talked about it might be the way the camera was placed too, might have made it seem a bit awkward.
It felt confining.
And I like it felt more like a table, like sitting down at a table conversation, not standing and talking and just, I don't know. I guess when you see it later on, she's the one having the affair. You're expecting him to be the one having the affair or something, and it's really a her,
right? And
stuff like that. So oops, spoilers. I guess we'll make sure we put spoilers up so people.
There's an affair. Happens.
There's an affair.
And there's clowns.
Happens, and there's clowns that, go on a kidnapping spree.
And murder spree, as they do.
Murder spree.
And they do. That's exactly what clowns do every night after the circus, ends up. That's just what they do.
At least that's what it feels like in this movie. So anyway, there's a couple bits where I was just like, this acting is just. Oh, and the diner scene with the guy who's cheating, the cop.
Right.
There was like this racist like conversation, and it just felt weird. It felt like I didn't understand if they were joking with him, and he was like okay with them, like
it's like, haha, this is Texas. This is how we talk to each other.
Yeah, like I'm from Virginia. I'm not used to that. Like that's just maybe that is a Texas thing. I don't know, but this movie is definitely a Texas film. Like right. You can tell, like it was born and raised in Texas, and stuff. So it's good.
Yeah, I know. There were a couple of scenes that felt a little contrived. Going back to the scene in the kitchen, it's sort of an over-the-shoulder kind of shot. It just feels very confining, and it feels like the conversation might have taken place more naturally, or either around the kitchen table, drinking coffee, or while they're doing something, rather than them being very close to each other at the focal point of the shot. People generally don't stand and talk to each other like that for long periods of time. They just move around, usually.
Well, okay, so real quick, so I don't forget, there was a great scene, one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. And, so I'm not saying this movie is a bad movie at all, or anything. Like, this isn't a horrible movie. But there's a great scene where Paris Randall has been chosen as one of the people to get a prize or whatever at the circus.
What a prize it is.
And they had some handcuffs and some other stuff, like some weird bag of goodies. And Papa Corn, played by Bill Burst Jr., is chatting with him. And he's this really, really close to him. And he gets closer.
That was creepy.
And it was creepy, but what made it really good was that Paris Randall's reaction to him the whole time is just what do I do? You could tell either it was planned or it wasn't planned. And I would have loved if it wasn't planned. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing I wish to hear a comment section on this, because I'd love to hear what either the actors had to say.
So please comment.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd just love to hear what either actor had to say about that, because the invasion of personal space, especially by a creepy clown, is generally not considered one of the things most people would like to get involved in, most of the time.
Yeah, so that was awkward as hell, but awesome. And his conversation with Paris is probably my favorite in the whole movie. It's just him talking, and Paris Randall makes a joke on the dwarf and everything. And
you're making fun of the differently abled. How clever of you.
And then he's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Who fucking cares about a dwarf anyway?
Right.
And I'm just I laughed because it felt like an awkward scene that worked well. You know what I mean? Because this is what would happen at a circus that was just game to town and everything.
Right.
It worked. It was probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. But to get to some of the bad stuff or whatever, I would say to begin with, it just felt mean and nasty. Now I understand once again, House of a Thousand Corpses. You follow a group of like nasty people together and stuff, and they go and murder people, but you don't know who to root for. Are you supposed to root for those people to survive? Are you supposed to root for the bad people? Are you supposed to root for Parrish Randall in this movie? I couldn't tell because, in a way, he doesn't ever like redeem himself. His character, like he just kind of is just.
There's no growth in any of these characters. There's no growth. It's you're basically, I mean, I don't want to say it's torture porn. It's not quite torture porn. You don't linger on the effects like you do in a lot of these other movies, but it seems like the point of the movie is to just sort of up the next gore special effect or the next thing without really concentrating on the story. I mean, there is a story going on. It's got something to do with these Mexican bingo card images. I would love to know more about it because I don't know really what's going on with that. I don't know why they're obsessed with it. I don't know why certain images are done in certain ways and why he feels he has to go and do something. I mean, there's got to be some reason other than we're all crazy and we're clowns. There's got to be a reason for it.
I agree, and see, I almost, when I watched it, I was kind of thinking about that. I was thinking that if they had actually like delved more information about the Mexican cards, that would help.
Right.
The problem is, you got to be careful how you do that as an independent filmmaker, because if you put in a scene where they explain too much, it becomes over,
right, yeah, you have to do it in such a way where it's not full of exposition.
It seems natural, exposition.
But you need a little bit more story than just we're going from the next killing scene to the next killing scene, because, really, I like the film up until the point where that scene you just talked about where Popcorn is getting into his face, because up until that point, it's been pretty cool. But after that, once, the clowns start to do their thing, the movie, to me, really goes off the rails and just wobbles into this weird, like you said, not nice, very mean-spirited fantasy where the bad guys can do anything they want and never have repercussions. They can bend the laws of physics. Everything changes for their favor, and the complete opposite for everybody else. Everybody else is an idiot. Everybody else has the worst timing. Everybody else is just, there's no point.
These are the luckiest clowns in the fucking world.
Everybody should just die because there's nothing you can do. Right. And there's nothing worse to me than a movie where it's just, just get it over with because there's nothing I can do, there's nothing they can do.
No, I mean...
That's it.
I want to say that, like, the answer to that would be that it's like real life or something, but it's not.
There's nothing in this movie about real life.
Because, like, there's even a scene with a cop, and you were saying before that he doesn't call for backup, he doesn't do all these different things that a cop would originally do, but then you see them later on, and they're with Parrish Randall, and they've got guns.
Right, the one guy doesn't do it when he's faced with 5 other people, but the 20 cops that show up against the one guy, then they're all cautious.
Yeah, so I mean, and it delves into like it. I don't know. It's
That's
like
because
half and half.
the way the story is written, it's more convenient to have the cop by himself and get taken advantage of.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because again, it's another thing that gets in their favor.
And with most screenplays or whatever, there's a first act, second act, third act, right? So the second act involves like more of like the middle stuff that everything's going on, and by the second half of the second act, basically structure of movies is that all of a sudden all hope is lost, right? So that would be where Parrish Randall's character realizes that I may not get out of here alive, right? I may die, right? However, the whole movie's like that. I mean, once he gets kidnapped, like, all hope is lost, like, and you know it. You feel like there's nobody following them around and chasing them down. They're like, at least in Devil's Rejects, like there's the sheriff who's after them, you know.
Right,
So
right.
you're like, oh man,
And,
there's
you know, he
kind
keeps
of that
using the threat of killing the kid or harming the kids the whole time, but you already know. Yeah, I mean, based on what you've seen, you already know those kids are either already dead or they're gonna be dead, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's like I want to go to this guy. Why are you helping him? Why just accept your fate?
Right.
You know, that's the worst thing. That's what he does not want.
right.
You know, deprive him of that. So yeah, it's, you know, I don't know. I think a more, you know, more work on the story would have been better. A little bit more depth, a little bit more story, a little less. Here's yet another killing and yet another killing and yet another killing. I mean, to me, I think it would have made it a little more interesting.
I know they were working on a sequel, so I think that a lot of it is supposed to, like, you know, a lot of what they didn't finish up maybe in a sequel. I don't know. Honestly, it's just, like I said, it's too mean-spirited, so there's times where I'm just like, I don't know, like in the beginning I was like, okay, I could be into this is kind of cool. Then when everybody gets kidnapped or something, you know, the kids get kidnapped, that's another thing. We're, you know, a lot of people are taught in film school and stuff that killing kids and killing animals is a no-no to audience members, you know, or whatever.
Right,
So if
it'll
you
turn
really
them
want to
off.
like push the envelope and do something different, you want to kill kids or you want to kill animals. I saw a goat at one point, and I was like, if they kill that goat, I'm gonna.
I know, yeah.
Like, no.
Would have sucked.
I hate to say it, like the kids, like I didn't care.
Cared about the damn kids.
You know, but the goat.
Save the goat, save the critter.
That's what I cared about. But I'm a weird dude. I don't know. The kids,
completely
well, I
understand.
think, yeah, whatever. Anyway.
Actually, they're both kids when you look at it. Kid's a baby goat, right?
Oh, is it? Okay, I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
You learn a new thing when you're doing this show.
There you go.
Anyway, in Continuity Monkey did not want that to happen.
And they promised monkeys, but the monkeys never came. That's fine.
Yeah, they promised monkeys, and he was excited. He got like old monkeys, and he was
That's right.
looking over Continuity Monkey, going, "Hey, you're gonna have some buddies on here," but no monkeys.
No
Didn't
monkeys.
see anything.
Happens. Well, maybe the second one when the circus comes back in town, when they find another 70 or 80 people that they can murder and get away with.
Get more monkeys. More monkeys. That's what you were missing. in the
More
last video.
monkeys!
Anyway, overall, we weren't really big fans of it. Now,
What can I
that
tell
being
you?
said, I don't think that doesn't mean that other people would enjoy this movie.
Right, it's really the type of person who's going to like a particular type of film.
No, we still don't know who
You know.
that is, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just it. I mean, this, like I said, this does not cross over into torture porn, but it comes close. And you know, you have to ask, why am I finding this entertaining, and why is somebody else who made this think that I'm going to find this entertaining? Because, you know, there really isn't a character, like Jonathan mentioned, there really isn't a character for me to sort of latch onto, and we're just watching all these other people getting killed, and it's just, after a while, it's just, okay, yes, we get it. They're crazy clowns, and they kill people over and over and over and over. And here's another scene where they're killing more people. You know, it's just, it doesn't really go anywhere for me. It doesn't, you know, it's not like a point happens where there's revenge and the guy does something and finally these clowns, you know, meet justice. He actually shoots the guy, and then the guy just gets up, and it's just like it never happened. And, you know, he's the next day, there's no repercussions.
Yeah, he's not like bleeding.
What the fuck? Are these demon clowns? I mean,
Right.
that's what I meant by
Maybe.
bending the laws of physics, and it's all bent to their advantage, never to anybody else's advantage. And yeah, that's just, I don't know, it's just not interesting to me. What can I tell you? I don't mind a dark film. I don't mind a gritty film. I don't mind a violent film. I just want there to be some grounding in reality where consequences happen.
Well, the last thing I'll share, or whatever, before we probably wrap this up, is that, you know, the biggest problem I had with the movie is, like, apparently this all takes place in one night. And there are a lot of freaking people who die in one night.
At least
where are the
most of it.
cops?
At
Like,
least most of it. I mean, there's a couple of days go by, and then you're right. The bulk
Are
of
you
it,
sure?
2/3 of the movie
I
takes
think I
place
thought it
on that
took-
one
yeah.
night.
Yeah, most of the movie before, but then when he gets kidnapped, when Paris Reynolds' character gets kidnapped, I think it's all supposed to be one night because like
It's a lot of
they
dark,
go to
empty
freaking
streets in
convenience
Texas.
store, then they get pulled over by the cop, then they get then they kill the cop and the people run
Kill
them
everyone in
over
the convenience
and those
store.
people get out. I mean, it's like murder after murder, and like you're thinking, don't cops hear gunshots?
Even
like,
in Texas, people don't get away with that much murders, particularly when you're a bunch of fucking clowns and everybody sees them from a mile away. I mean, it's just, yeah, that's what I mean about not being grounded in reality. Just a little bit. It's a fantasy. It's a very dark fantasy.
It's a dark, fucked up
Very
fantasy.
dark, twisted fantasy.
And I applaud the people who made
there
it
are people
because
who like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not me.
Yeah, it's not for us. There are people who love, if you love gore, if you love stuff like House of a Thousand Corpses, I'm going to keep comparing it to that.
That's very much what it was like to me.
Where it just, and I was not a fan of House of a Thousand Corpses. Now, I know a lot of friends of mine who love that movie. They think it's better than Devil's Rejects. I disagree. I like Devil's Rejects better.
I'm the same way.
So, I mean, but I compare it, and I feel bad comparing because it's not really the same movie or anything. Like, I mean, Captain Spaulding is a clown, but he's not a clown, really. He's just a guy who dresses up in clown makeup. It's awkward, in a way.
But you can see the difference between the two films there, just to sort of continue with the comparison. In the first movie, they get away with everything, every depraved, horrible thing. In the second film, there's still more of that, but they pay for it. There are consequences. At least that's what it's presented at towards the end.
Which I think was the biggest problem of Devil's Rejects. They should have made a third one, made it a trilogy, They are making a second.
Oh, we always got to
Devil's
have a
Rejects,
trilogy, of course.
But, they shouldn't have had their comeuppance at the end of that because, always got to do a trilogy.
But the fact that there is a comeuppance is largely, it breaks the tension. It makes it worth sitting through the entire thing. You know what I mean? There's no payoff in this particular film for me, anyway.
Speaking of which, I hope you guys sat through all of this and was able to get something out of it. If you like that movie, please comment about it. What made you like it? What made you excited to see it? If you didn't like it, I mean, please feel free to say what, what you weren't happy with.
And there's lots of stuff to like in this film, like I said, from a technical aspect, it was very well done, it was very well shot, it was well acted, there's a lot of good stuff in here. To me, it was just a story issue.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? That's fine.
not everybody's cup of tea.
Not everybody's film is gonna be, is gonna be for everybody. So I think there are people that will like this movie, and I think there are people.
Yes, you sick, twisted little monkeys out there, you're gonna love it.
Monkeys, you just don't expect them in this one, But expect one in our review.
That's right.
Well, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed this thing. I think it is being. This is going to be released on the first day of Frightmare. So,
There you go.
So people will be there at Texas, and there will be there is a table for Circus of the Dead. So I'll go up there and see everybody and hope they don't, to lynch me for this review.
You're going to be in the next clown show.
He ran away when I said that. He fell down. All right. Anyway, yes, I will not. I will not make it out alive. Papa Corn will be coming.
But
after
you know
me.
what? I look forward to these filmmakers' next movie. I think they definitely have some positive things, and we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you, and I hope you guys check it out. Check out Indie Film Cafe on YouTube, on Twitter, on Patreon, on every place.
We're everywhere, baby.
We're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Literally.
And watch out for clowns. Don't trust them.
Don't trust clowns.
Mm-mm.
Not at all. But remember also, Papa Corn loves you.
Papa Corn loves you. Peace out.